So the other day, I asked you guys if you wanted to see shorts where I recolor shiny Pokemon based on your suggestions, and I got a ton of feedback, so today we're gonna do 3 of them. First up is an orange and yellow Sceptile. Sceptile's belly is pretty much already yellow, so for this one, all we're gonna do is take that purple and make it orange. I honestly didn't think this was going to look great at first, but after recoloring it, I was pleasantly surprised. Next is Donphan with yellow and black to reference roads. We're gonna take the orange of shiny Donphan and make it yellow while turning the body black. And while I do like the idea behind the color choices here, unfortunately, I'm not really a fan of how it looks, but that's just my opinion. Let's move on to Heracross with a golden yellow. This is a simple one, just take that pink and shift it into a golden yellow. I'm not entirely sure if I like this one or not, as I'm still on the fence about it, but what do you think? I've been getting a ton of suggestions on how I should recolor certain shiny Pokemon, so today we're gonna recolor some based on those suggestions. Let's get started. Tangela's shiny should be yellow to resemble spaghetti. I like spaghetti, so we're gonna take that green and shift it into yellow. I actually kinda like it, but I do prefer its official shiny because I love green Tangela. Snorlax with pink and yellow. I've always wondered what shiny Snorlax would look like if it were pink, and this is it. To incorporate the yellow, I just saturated the belly and feet a bit. I'm a pretty big fan of this one. Some people complain that there are too many pink and purple shiny Pokemon, but I definitely wouldn't be upset if this was Snorlax's official shiny. Gliscor, but white and green. For this one, I decided to make 2 versions, one with white as the main color and green as the accent color, and another with green as the primary color and white as the accent color. I think they both look pretty good, but I definitely prefer this one with the green body. I get a lot of suggestions on how I should recolor certain shiny Pokemon. So today we're gonna do 3 of them. We'll start things off with a blue and black Starmie, with black as the main color. This is shiny Starmie, and this is what it would look like with blue and black. I decided to keep the gemstone the same color as I thought it worked well with the blue and black, but I think this looks pretty decent. Next we'll do a light blue Espeon. Personally, I am a fan of green shiny Espeon, but here is what it would look like if it were light blue. And I have to say, I like the way this looks a lot. I would not be upset if this was its official shiny. Last, we'll do a black and green Porygon. For this one, I decided to make 2 versions, one where the main part of the body was black and another where the main part of the body was green. I think they both look pretty great, and I'm not entirely sure which one I prefer more, but what do you think? It's that time again where I recolor shiny Pokemon based on your suggestions. Let's jump into it. Gray body Bulbasaur with a pink plant. This sounds like it could look pretty sweet, so let's take Bulbasaur's body, desaturate it all the way to gray, and make the plant pink. I think this looks pretty solid, and I have no complaints about this one. Do Sceptile with orange on the body with green as the accents. This sounds pretty interesting, so let's do it. This is what it would look like with those colors. I hope it isn't a big deal, but I chose to incorporate some light blue as well. Personally, I don't love this one. I don't hate it, but there's just a bit too much orange for my taste. Silver shiny Chingling with blue in its ribbons. I like this idea, so here is what it would look like with silver and blue. I don't really have a whole lot to say about it, other than I am a fan of it. But what do you think? Let's recolor some more shiny Pokemon based on your suggestions. Do Victini with a dark gray body and a purple V. This sounds like it could look pretty cool, so we'll take the white body and make it gray, and make the orange parts purple. I do think it looks pretty cool, however, I think I still prefer the official shiny. You should do a mainly silver Yamper with the yellow being replaced by a light green. I was let down by the official shiny Yamper, so here is what it would look like with silver and light green. I feel like the silver fur blends in a little too much with the white, but that's definitely my fault since I made it more of a lighter silver, but overall, I think it looks alright. Serperior should have had orange and red in its shiny form. Autumn is my favorite season, so giving Serperior autumn colors sounds like a pretty good idea. So here it is. I gotta say, I really love this one, and am really sad this isn't the official shiny. But what do you think? We're once again recoloring shiny Pokemon based on your suggestions. Inverted Weavile colors. I wasn't sure if you were referring to its normal or shiny colors, so I decided to do both. This is what it would look like if its shiny colors were inverted. I don't think it looks bad. I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. If its normal colors were inverted, it would look like this, and I definitely prefer this one. I just think it looks awesome. Furret with black and white fur. I like shiny Furret quite a bit, but let's turn it it into a Galarian Zigzagoon anyway. Even though this was a simple change, I do think it looks nice. Make shiny Slowbro switch colors with the shelter on its tail. I think this is a great idea, so this is what it would look like. I really like this one. The pink works surprisingly well with the shelter, and the blue looks nice on Slowbro as well. It's time to recolor more shiny Pokemon based on your suggestions. Croagunk with pale pink skin and light green eyes. This is what shiny Croagunk normally looks like. Let's make the body pink and the eyes a light green. I also chose to change the cheeks and fingers to a green color, effectively swapping its shiny colors around. I think it looks alright. I don't hate it, but I personally prefer the official shiny. Charizard with blue for the main body and fire with gray inside the wings. I find shiny Charizard to be a bit overrated, so let's do it. Here is what it would look like with blue and gray. I will say I think it may have been a bit better if the flame were a different color than the body, but overall I think it looks pretty decent. Gigalith with black stones and a red body. Gigalith is one of my favorite shiny Pokemon, but let's change it anyway. Because the official shiny has a special place in my heart, I will say I prefer it over this, but I do think this looks pretty cool. Let's recolor more shiny Pokemon based on your suggestions. We need a golden Golduck. I agree, so we'll just take the blue of Golduck and shift it into a gold color while making the bill and such the same as its normal colors. I don't think this one looks too bad. I don't hate shiny Golduck, but I think this would make for a better shiny. Blastoise with a green body and dark green shell while keeping the belly color the same. I know green shiny Pokemon tend to get a lot of hate, but let's see what it would look like if we made the body green and darkened the shell a bit. I actually really like it. Some might say there's a bit too much green, but I think it looks pretty decent. Kommo-o with a grayish brown body with the red of its scales changed to dark blue. I should mention that I'm actually a fan of shiny Kommo-o, but let's change it anyway. This is what it would look like with a grayish brown and dark blue. I will say it looks better than I was expecting, but I personally like the official shiny more. It's that time of the week where we recolor shiny Pokemon based on your suggestions. Let's hop into it. Switch out the green and yellow on Cradily for blue and silver. For this one, they're referring to its normal colors, as this is what shiny Cradily normally looks like. I chose to make two versions for this one. Cradily with silver as the main color and blue as the accent looks pretty decent, but I find that swapping them around works much better. Can you make a shiny Yveltal with the red turning black and its blue eye turning red? I can definitely do that, and I think it looks pretty sick with black instead of red. It kind of takes away from the whole bacon bird thing that shiny Yveltal has going for it, but I still think the black looks awesome. Make Muck brown like the great mighty Pooh. For the memes, I guess I can turn Muck into the poop emoji. So here it is in all of its glory. Once again, we're going to be recoloring shiny Pokemon based on your suggestions. How about a red Bronzong? Bronzong, in my opinion, is a good green shiny Pokemon, where it kind of has an oxidized look, and I find that red does something similar where it almost feels like it's rusted. I also chose to make the eyes yellow to better complement the red. Can you make Jigglypuff a light yellow with light blue eyes? Shiny Jigglypuff isn't necessarily bad, but it does leave more to be desired. Giving it yellow helps a lot, especially when paired with the light blue. Gardevoir with purple and yellow. Since purple and yellow are complementary colors, they do tend to look good together. However, I personally find the official shiny just a bit more pleasing to look at, but that's just my opinion. Can you do Torterra in a cherry blossom theme? I can do that, and it looks just as pretty as it sounds. This is part 11 of a series where I recolor shiny Pokemon based on your suggestions. Recolor shiny Roserade. Make the body blue and the roses orange and yellow. I think these are excellent color choices, and the orange and yellow flowers look great, and I think that's thanks to the inclusion of blue. I don't think they'd look nearly as good with green. For Spinna, change the red for blue. This is of course referring to Spinna's non-shiny form. This is a simple change, but quite effective. I tend to like blue, so I do like this quite a lot. Also, I can't be the only one getting some major Plusle and Minun vibes from this. Could you do a pink Phione? I can definitely make a pink Phione, and since you didn't specify the color of the gem, I ended up going with turquoise as I thought it fit better with the pink compared to the yellow gem. Switch shiny Applin to yellow. I suppose I can betray my love for green apples by making a yellow apple inspired Applin. This is part 12 of a series where I recolor shiny Pokemon based on your suggestions. Let's hop into it. Can you make a yellow Phanpy? Considering how Phanpy has a pretty lackluster shiny, I think making it yellow is a great idea. I also chose to change the orange parts to more of a red color because I thought it worked better with the pale yellow. Corphish and Crawdaunt in blue, with the blue part on Crawdaunt turning red. Blue is a color that I personally really enjoy, however I feel like it works better with Corphish than it does Crawdaunt, but that's just my opinion. Can you do Gyarados with purple instead of red? There are already a lot of shiny water type Pokemon out there that are purple, but I personally really like it with Gyarados, especially Mega Gyarados. This is part 13 of a series where I recolor shiny Pokemon based on your suggestions. Kabutops with red. Green Kabutops isn't terrible, but I really dig it with red, and it reminds me a lot of the Scyther I made where I gave it its Pokemon Stadium shiny colors. Hydreigon with light orange and a lighter purple. If you've seen some of my other videos, then you might know I'm not really a fan of orange, but I think it fits Hydreigon well, especially when paired with the purple and black, as it gives off some spooky vibes that I'm really into. Can you do shiny Cherubi as purple and blue? I went ahead and made two versions for this one since you didn't specify which colors go where, and while I really like how the blue looks on the body, I feel like the purple leaves and stems look a little strange, so I think swapping the colors around makes it look a lot better. Can you make a white and blue Buzzwole? I can make a white and blue Buzzwole, and I think it looks incredible. This is episode 14 of a series where I recolor shiny Pokemon based on your suggestions. Let's hop into it with a yellow and light brown Nidoqueen. In my opinion, the enormous amount of hate shiny Nidoqueen gets isn't really justified, but let's change it anyway. This is an example of a recolor that I didn't really like when I first made it, but has grown on me over time. Do I prefer it over the official shiny though? I'm not really sure. White Marshadow with turquoise eyes. This is something that has been requested quite often, and I can see why, as White Marshadow is pretty incredible, even though I do find white shiny Pokemon to be a little overrated. Caterpie, but the body is pink and the eyes are brown. Pink and brown is an interesting color combination, and while I think the pink looks great on Caterpie, I'm a little torn on the brown eyes. It doesn't look bad, but it does feel a little out of place, but maybe that's just me. Greninja with orange, red, or purple. I couldn't really decide on which one to do, so I just asked myself, why not all of them?